How's it going, everyone? It's Avi from Weather SpongeBob. Today is February 8th, 2022. As today, we're going to focus on the next snowstorm that's going to move through the northern Midwest and the Northeast, where you could see up to 6 inches of snow in some areas in the Midwest, as well as the Northeast, headed into this weekend. But before I begin, make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. So let's begin by taking a look at the current radar for the lower 48, and you see that for the time being, it's right now quiet for the most part, at least when it comes to precipitation. However, we do see some snow occurring here in Maine, and we could see potentially up to 5 inches of snow in some areas in Maine, so you want to pay close attention to that. We do have some heavier snow bands developing right along the Canadian and United States border, so watch out for that, especially right along Caribou, along the eastern portion, the northeastern portion of Maine. But it should move out relatively soon, as the low pressure associated with the snow is going to move to the northeast and not be much of a worry beyond maybe a few hours for Maine. And outside of that, it's pretty much mostly quiet. A little bit of rain showers occurring in Florida, but that's pretty much about it. However, we do have this small feature in northern Minnesota that could dump a little bit of snow in the very near future, within, I'd say, the next 24 hours. It won't be this isn't the snowstorm I'm talking to you guys about that's expected to move through the northern Midwest and the Northeast that could bring heavy snowfall, but it still could bring a little bit of snowfall before the bigger snowstorm comes through in the northern Midwest and the Northeast. As the reason why this won't dump that much snow is because it's quite weak. You see that the area of precipitation isn't quite large enough to really dump a heavy amount of snow, but associated with this low pressure system, we could see strong northwesterly winds, which should enhance the lake effect snow a little bit. It won't necessarily be heavy associated with this low pressure system, but it's still at least something to be aware of within the next 24 hours. Now, let me show you guys the computer model forecasts over the next couple of days. So let's first show the European model. Of course, we're seeing snow right around Maine associated with this low pressure system, but it's primarily only impacting Maine, as it seems like this low pressure system was too far to the east to bring heavy snowfall in the Northeast, so not much of a worry there. And this is a low pressure system I was talking to you guys about, the first low pressure system before the bigger, more powerful low pressure system moves through. So you see that it's bringing primarily light snow to northern Minnesota, and moving forward, you see that it does bring light snow throughout the northern Great Lakes. And you see associated with this low pressure system, we do see a little bit of lake effect snow as a result of a northwesterly flow associated with this low pressure system, but it isn't enough to dump really a heavy amount of snow. If we were to pretty much forecast this amount of snowfall based on this first snowstorm that's moving through, let's take a look at the accumulated snowfall forecast. Let's see how much snow you could expect from this first snowstorm. You see that for the most part, it's barely right around 1 inch, maybe slightly more in the extreme northern portions of the Great Lakes. And if you're along if you're right along the coast of Lake Erie or Lake Ontario, that's maybe where you could receive over 1 inch of snow, but nothing to worry about there. But it becomes a different story when talking about this next low pressure system after it that's going to move through. You see that this low pressure system drops down to 984 millibars, so it's quite formidable as a storm. And while it isn't bringing heavy snow in terms of precipitation or a high amount of precipitation associated with this could maybe bring some gusty winds associated, because the low pressure system is quite powerful at around 984 millibars by the 48-hour mark, and it's bringing some heavier bouts of snow throughout North Dakota and Minnesota. But the thing that will certainly limit the snowfall will be how fast the low pressure system is moving, since the jet stream is quite powerful at this time, and we're seeing strong prevailing westerly winds. That's going to steer this storm quickly to the east, and that should definitely limit the snowfall, since it's moving quite fast. And you see that it brings snow to a lot of Wisconsin, where Milwaukee's getting involved, Chicago's getting involved, Michigan is getting involved in the European model scenario. However, you see it turns just slightly northward just before it reaches the Northeast, but I wouldn't be surprised that in the higher elevations of the Northeast, you do experience some snowfall here, especially in the extreme northern portions of the Northeast. But you see that a lot of snowfall is more towards the Midwest. Let's take a look at the GFS model as well. Since we're only around 72 hours away from the event, there isn't a high amount of uncertainty, but we do see a little small differences, such as the Northeast does receive a little bit more snowfall in the GFS model's case. What's interesting is that after the slow pressure system moves, we do see a little bit of a nor'easter develop. Right now, the forecast is that the low pressure will stay well off the coast, so it might not be that much of a worry, but at least something to maybe be aware of in the future. If there's any updates regarding this low pressure system coming closer to the East Coast, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, it does seem like it's going to come close enough to the East Coast. But in terms of this snowstorm, you still could expect a heavy amount of snow throughout the upper Midwest and the interior portions of the Northeast. Let me show you guys the forecasted snowfall accumulation from the GFS model. So this first snowstorm will move through, and then we see the second snowstorm bring a high amount of snow throughout the northern Midwest, where just north of Minneapolis, you could receive 1 to 3 to potentially 3 to 6 inches. And what's interesting is that in portions close on the eastern coast of Lake Michigan, you do see that there's over 6 inches of snow expected for you guys, and this could extend to northern Indiana as well. And you see that Chicago is receiving right around 3 to 6 inches. Erie, Pennsylvania is getting involved. Buffalo is getting involved. And you see that even the higher elevations of upstate New York are getting involved in right around 3 to 6 inches of snow. And you see Maine is receiving over 6 inches, partially due to this snowstorm that's currently impacting Maine right now. But you guys still in Maine should still expect snow from this next coming snowstorm. I'd say around 3 to 6 inches of snow. So it's definitely something to keep in mind headed into this weekend if you plan to travel in any of the northern portions of the Northeast as well as the Midwest. And you see this extends further southward as well throughout the Appalachian Mountain Range, where you do see a decent amount of snow. I'd say right around 1 to 3 inches throughout West Virginia, and even a little bit further southward where maybe Tennessee and Arkansas could experience snowfall. Let's take a look at the European model's forecast when it comes to snowfall accumulation. So taking a look at the European model, you see that the European model does still bring a good area of 1 to 3 inches of snow to the Northeast, but the European model is less lenient on bringing the heavy snowfall. We're gonna have to see how much moisture this low pressure system will have by the time it reaches the Northeast, or how far south it moves, because that'll be important when determining the amount of snowfall you should expect in the Northeast. But northern Midwest still should expect 3 to 6 inches, so make sure to prepare for that in those areas. Now let me show you guys the Futurecast radar to see when you guys should experience impact. So here's where we're at right now. We're still seeing snow in Maine, and then this first low pressure system should move, pretty much bringing flurries to light snow showers for the most part. Not much of a worry there, but you see that by early Thursday, you could experience some lake effect snow. So make sure to keep that in mind, that there could be a spurt of heavier snowfall associated with this lake effect snow. So keep that in mind. But you see this second low pressure system should move, I'd say, into North Dakota by early on Thursday, and this should move into Maine by Minnesota through the afternoon hours on Thursday, and this should eventually reach Chicago, I'd say early Friday morning, and Milwaukee, with a heavy amount of snow ahead of this low pressure system. So keep that in mind throughout the northern Midwest. As early as Thursday for Minnesota and North Dakota, you could experience impacts, and very early Friday right around Chicago and Milwaukee. Now let me show you guys my snowfall forecast for this snowstorm. I'm still expecting a large area of 3 to 6 inches. This includes big cities like Chicago, Milwaukee, Minneapolis. I expect 3 to 6, potentially 3 to 6 inches of snow from this. Well, I'd say it's probably maybe less snow for Minneapolis. I did put the snowfall a little bit too far southward for that area, so expect little snowfall in Minneapolis, but 3 to 6 inches of snow in Chicago and Wisconsin is certainly possible. 6 to 12 along the Great Lakes, and this should extend the Northeast as well. So make sure keep that in mind throughout a lot of these states under under this snowfall accumulation forecast. But yeah, guys, I guess that's it for this video. I thank you guys for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you want to see more weather-related content. Make sure to like if you like this video, and make sure to turn on post notifications if you want to see even more weather-related content. And I hope you guys all have a great day.